Hi, my name is Yvette Russell. This is my presentation on invasive species. It's called Cats, Bunnies, and All the Worst Animals. So we'll start with amphibians. They include frogs, toads, salamanders, and caecilians. I've posted a picture of a caecilian right there. Their benefits include pest control, provide steady models for medical advancements, maintain species diversity throughout the food chain, and they supply energy and nutrients through ecological succession. The invasive species for amphibians are going to be the Eurasian marsh frog, the North American bullfrog, and fungi. Here is a picture of a North American bullfrog. I had to color him green. Here's a picture of basal, it's what it's called. It's a microscopic fungus that typically lives in wet environments. It was responsible for wiping out an entire population of fire salamanders in Belgium in 2014. The invasive fungus is thought to have arrived on salamanders or newts imported from Asia. So I'll give you a close-up here. There is the salamander without the fungus, and there is the salamander with the fungus. You can see the gray dots right there. Now on to fish. Fish include catfish, seahorses, sharks, tunas, eels, and rays. They contribute nutrients to marine ecosystems, maintain species diversity throughout the food chain as well. They play an important role in marine ecosystems. Through excretion, fish provide fertilizer needed for algae and seagrass to grow. They also maintain a food chain. They provide nutrients to mammals when consumed. And then their invasive species are going to include the zebra mussel, Chinese mitten crab, European green crab, and the New Zealand mud snail. Here is a quote I found at a National Geographic about the zebra mussel. It says, "One infamous example is the zebra mussel, accidentally introduced by a cargo ship into the North American Great Lakes from the Black Sea in 1988. The tiny mollusk multiplied uncontrollably, starving out many of the Great Lakes' native mussel populations and interfering with human structures from factory intake pipes to ship rudders. They've now spread from Canada to Mexico and are considered a major nuisance species. Hundreds of millions of dollars are spent annually to control their numbers." Now on to invertebrates. Here is bees, butterflies, stick insects, spider, and praying mantis is what they consist of. Their benefits include pollination is the big one with bees, biological pest control, waste decomposition, and soil aeration. They are vital components of ecosystems around the world. Around 70 to 90% of all plants require pollination from bees. Praying mantis eat pests such as flies, moths, crickets, and mosquitoes. And then their invasive species are going to include slugs, wasps, and mites. They can cause damages to forests, farms, and other ideal grounds for invertebrates. There's a picture of a wasp. I had to color him as well, but I think I did a okay job reflecting on their colors. On to birds. Birds include parrots, vultures, toucans, hummingbirds, and eagles. I just picked a random handful of stuff that would be considered birds. Their benefits include pest control, eating carcasses of dead animals, seed dispersers, and pollinators. Birds play an important role in helping the environment. About 5% of plants used for food or medicine are pollinated by birds. They have the ability to travel quickly and disperse seeds wherever they land. They also can act as scavengers and eat roadkill and other carcasses. Invasive species include the Canada goose, rock pigeon, mallard, and mute swan. I'll show you the pictures. As we can see, we have a ton of these here in Boise. There is the Canada goose, and then mallard, of course, just kind of your run-of-the-mill ducks there. Mammals. Mammals include beavers, whales, bears, monkeys, zebras, and snow leopards. Their benefits include highly developed brains. They can be used for transportation. They're pollinators as well, and they have the ability to form relationships with other species. They have several important roles in every ecosystem. Dogs can be trained to work as service animals for people with disabilities. Zebras and ostriches can have a mutually beneficial relationship in the wild. Zebras have poor eyesight, and ostriches cannot smell or hear well. So zebras can smell or hear danger coming, and ostriches can see danger, so they're able to warn one another when a threat arises, so they can flee when necessary. Invasive species for mammals include feral pigs, feral cats, rabbits, mice, and red deer. Right down here, we've got reptiles. That includes crocodiles, turtles, tortoises, lizards, and snakes. Their benefits include seed dispersers and pollinators, pest control, and population control. Reptiles help maintain balance in ecosystems by eating pests and preventing overpopulation of certain species. Timber rattlesnakes prey on rodents who are host to ticks. The ticks are a vector for Lyme disease, which can be transmitted to humans. They're automatically reducing the prevalence of Lyme disease by eating these rodents. Invasive reptiles are often smuggled in or flown in legally for exotic pet trade. Some invasive species include the Burmese python, the red-eared slider, and the Cuban brown anole. Here's the pictures for those. Invasive species are extremely harmful to our environment. The damage can range from killing off native species to destroying entire forests. Invasive species get to non-native lands through several means. Exotic animals are often brought to non-native lands for the exotic pet trade, and owners sometimes release them into the wild. Invasive species can also be brought onto non-native lands accidentally. They can tag along on a ship, bringing imported goods to another region. Sometimes invasive species are released into an area on purpose. This can happen when non-native deer or fish are released to increase the amount of game in an area. Invasive species cause damage to the environment and native animals. When a new species is introduced into an ecosystem, they oftentimes don't have predators. So the new species hasn't evolved and grown with the area, so there aren't any animals above them in the food chain. Without anything hunting the new species, they're able to reproduce quickly and attack the native wildlife. Invasive species may also eat all of the food in an area and leave non-native species nothing to eat. Many invasive insects and fungi come from regions where the ecosystem has grown resistant to their effects. When introduced into a new environment, the new environment may not have that resistance, so the new species can easily destroy an entire ecosystem. Invasive species cause billions of dollars worth of damage every year. It's important to study invasive species so we know how to handle them. Researchers are doing what they can to prevent the spreading of invasive species, but there are ways that we can help too. Number 1, don't release your pets. They're a huge threat to native species. Number 2, check yourself before leaving an area with wildlife. Look for plants stuck to your shoes, bugs, or anything that could spread to another site. And be sure to check your pets too. Number 3, look for invasive species volunteer opportunities. National parks are always looking for volunteers to help remove invasive species. And then last one, number 4, report any unfamiliar plants or animals to the Idaho Invasive Species Hotline. That number is 1-877-336-8676. And I did just get that number off the Idaho Invasive Species website. So yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching my presentation.